How many of you can say that you know all the students on campus? Very few of you. Well, seeing as how this is a small school with roughly around 2,000 students, it's not a stretch to say that you should be able to know the majority of the students, if not all of them. The College of Worcester does not have many activities here on campus that allow for every student to get involved in one way or another by incorporating every student's interests. First, I'll talk about the problems created by this. Second, I will discuss my solution. Third, I'll talk about the good things that can happen as a result of my solution. And finally, I'll talk about how each and every one of you can make a difference. What is the problem? Well, there are many events here on campus, and they're all very good events. However, they do not allow for every student to become involved and incorporate their own interests. The events only apply to a very few select students. I'll give you some examples. The Party on the Green. Great event. However, it only applies to students who like hip-hop and rap music. So if you don't like any of those genres of music, you're not going to go to it. Another example. Well, there's the forums. These are very educational, and if you're interested in the topic and the speaker, it's great. If you're not going to go. Also, the Indians game. Now, if you're a sports fan or you like baseball, great event. But if you're not going to go. Cedar Point. Also, a great idea. Great place for everybody to go together and hang out. And most people would go to this. However, it was during fall break, so most of the students were home. Once again, not allowing for everybody to go. According to the Summer 2011 Worcester magazine, events such as chapel often brought students together on a daily basis where they could all come together and be a community. However, events like these don't happen anymore, resulting in students being very distant from each other and only having select groups. How serious is the problem? Well, because the events only apply to small groups, this prevents people from meeting others that are like themselves that they have not had a chance to meet. Just look at the Lowry tables. Every day, sitting beside the same people. Every day, the same people sit next to each other. It's very, very group-oriented, but not community-oriented, which is what we're aiming for here at Worcester. Why should you care? Well, you'll never be able to meet some students who could end up being some of your best friends if you give them the chance, just because they may look a little different, talk a little different, or just in general seem weird. Now, how many of you can actually say that you're interested in the events that are held here on campus? Like none of you? All right. Well, my solution is that the College of Worcester holds a fair or festival. What do I mean? Well, during the springtime, all the students could come together and go to a fair outside on the residence square. And if it's raining, well, then they could go inside to the brand new Scott Center, which would have more than enough space to allow for the event to be moved inside and sheltered from the rain or bad weather. Also, during this event, there would be inflatable games such as mazes or jousting for students to enjoy. There would be live music provided by local bands. There would be a headliner for the music. There would also be food brought to us by the Lowry crew or even from students. How will this fix my problem? Well, because of the selection at this event, there'd really be no way that you wouldn't be able to find something that you're interested in. So you'd be able to find something you're interested in and find other people who are interested in it also, leading to meeting new people. The student groups and Greek houses could also get involved by making their own booths, allowing them to reach new students that they never could before, and also it would incorporate more students. The varying genres of music being played by the live bands would also allow for more students to get involved by hearing their favorite songs played by bands. How do I know it will work? Well, in my hometown of LaGrange, there is a small festival called the Lions Festival. Here, there's inflatable games, sometimes there's rides, but more often than not, everybody from the community came together, and you got to meet new people, and you also got to meet your old friends and have a good time hanging out and enjoying what the festival has to offer. You might ask, how we can fund the event. Well, according to eventfund.biz, for $1,895, you can rent 5 inflatable games. Now, maybe that doesn't seem like a lot of games, but with the size of these and the amount of students who would be able to play on them, since we don't have a huge school, it'll offer a lot of opportunities to enjoy them. And also, eventfund.biz, they offer special offers to schools, so that way it could cut costs and keep us from spending too much. Student groups and Greek houses could make their own booths. This would also cut down costs, and they could come up with creative games, so that way they don't have to buy anything, to whereas we would have to spend a lot of money. You could also have inexpensive prizes, or even go to local stores and ask for gift cards or maybe a discount on some kind of item. Also, small bands, according to rentmyband.com, often go between $200 and $500, so they aren't that expensive, and you can also still enjoy quality music. The headliner, yes, it is expensive, but with the school resources, and if we got 5 students to pay if we got each student to pay $5, well, with roughly 2,000 students, according to capix.com, that's about $10,000 right there. So you can see how that could definitely go a long way into funding this event. Also, the food would not be expensive because we have students from 55 different countries. Seeing as how we have so many countries involved here, if each student from one of those countries decided to make a home dish, one of their favorites, and brought it, well, that would also create a chance for each student to broaden their own horizon and try something that they haven't before. Also, anyone without a Worcester ID would have to pay a small charge to enter. Now, this is a precautionary event to keep people from just trying to come in and enjoy what us Worcester students paid for. But if they really wanted to, they could pay a small fee, such as that the townies could come in here and pay a small fee and enjoy the event. This would also increase the amount of money being made to pay for this event. Now, questions that you might ask. Other questions you might ask. You might say, you like your friends right now. Well, you know, I'm sure they're great people, as are all the people here at Worcester. However, there's a lot of people you haven't met, and they could be great people too, so you should get the chance to get to know them. How will this one-time event help bring the community together? Well, if the funds permit, I'd like to also have this during the fall, creating 2 chances for everybody to get together and know each other. And also, just because it's a one-time event doesn't mean it's not going to be effective. Because if it goes as I believe it will go very successfully, and everybody will get a chance to meet new people. Now I want you guys to imagine walking down Beale and knowing everybody that you see. Not just their name, but their hobbies, their interests, what they like. Now, this would create a more peaceful Worcester, much more happy Worcester, and because of this, I feel like everybody would get along much better, and there wouldn't be as many cliques as we have now, such as in Lowry. Now, as you can all see, this is a big problem, and nothing is being done to help it. So I need all of your help. You can talk to faculty members, such as educators or higher level staff. You can do this, and this will create a bond between the students and the faculty that will only help Worcester. Because the faculty will listen because they're all open-minded individuals. You can ask student government members, because they have a say in what goes on here too, just as each and every one of us do. And they will help our cause. You can ask the deans, because the deans, well, let's be honest, they have a lot of power around here, so they can get the job done. If we want to create a tighter community, we all need to do our part. Questions? Aja.
Is your solution kind of similar to Scott's Spirit Day? Are you suggesting we have like another kind of Scott's Spirit Day?
Not necessarily. Scott's Spirit Day, isn't that where they just try to get people to rush and join groups? Was that Scott's Spirit Day? It's not necessarily that. It's more of the groups coming together and holding their own little booths. So that way, yeah, you can talk to them if you want. They can reach new people. But at the same time, you're not obligated. You're just doing it for fun. You're hanging out with your friends. You're walking around having a good time, playing games. So, I mean, I guess it could be similar, but not entirely.
I think Professor Levin does something like this in spring. I'm not sure. Is there anything here at the time?
to it and just make it a more bigger event and experience.
How do you think it will prevent people from just not going and hanging out with the friends they already know? But how do you think they will meet other people?
I mean, yes, it is a place where you can hang out with your friends that you already know, but at the same time, with all the new things you're going to be doing, you're going to be seeing other people that say you haven't talked to, and it's kind of like a bonding event, because if you're doing things with people that you haven't met and you're interested in the same thing, conversations will come up, and you'll talk to them. And, I mean, maybe not become best friends with the person, but you'll have some kind of bond between them.
How would you plan on advertising for this event?
Well, we could put posters around the school, and I mean, that's really how everything is advertised. We could also send emails to the students, mass email, get their attention.